Our Divine Comedy is made up of the work of three practitioners whom the world, out of convenience, continues to call artists, although all of whom either trained or now practice as architects. Three, shall we say, who are committed to the evolving arena of speculative or experimental spatial practice that is increasingly leading, and who knows, one day may lead, or one day may actually define our field. Our comedy is divided into three ideas or realms of inquiry that bear powerfully on contemporary human experience: history, mind, and cosmos. I would finally like to extend deep and heartfelt thanks to our three artists, all of whom went the extra mile to give us more than we could ever have paid for, who indulged us without a doubt in an experiment whose risks were borne by them and whose benefits were more likely to accrue to us. I'm incredibly excited with the results myself and hope that there may issue from this a tenable hypothesis that the university, as a social and political institution, as a place of science and knowledge and of the undeniable forms of power that issue therefrom, represents a viable alternative to the museum as a venue for public speech of a formal and plastic kind. But while on this last topic, I'm at once moved and obliged to invoke the troubling plight of our third artist, who is not in the room today, who remains in secreted arbitrary detention by the Chinese authorities as part of a crackdown on intellectuals, human rights lawyers, and pro-democracy activists these past weeks. The Divine Comedy is the direct issue of a conviction that we have taken on in this school, that spatial practice of all kinds offers to the plastic imagination of the architect both the opportunity and the obligation to address and to engage the public domain, that space par excellence, where history and life as collective practices are lived. The example and fate of Ai Weiwei today hangs precisely in this space for which we have declared interest, but it also hangs in the balance. Now, the places where our collective selves engage our wider environment with seriousness are not only fraught with the mortal risks of public speech, as they have been of late in the case of Ai Weiwei, but are also places of free exploration and of improvisation with the rich forms of negotiation that fall under the category of play. Okay, well, I lost my seat. That's good. Welcome. Hi, guys. Look, my first question. Well, actually, before I ask a question, I'd like to say welcome and thank you. Thank you for incredible work and the patience. My first question was really going to be, so what do you guys want to talk about? Olafur already mentioned to me that he had some ideas. They really scared me, however, so we're going to warm up a little bit before... You know, Olafur has a way of turning every moment into an experiment.
Kind of instant, you know, it's like words are always like kind of old somehow, and, as I see it. And this way, somehow, you know, it's like it's gone, you see. I was talking exactly about words that disappear, but at the right moment. Yeah, and then...
you might have been censored there, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, and then... yeah, I think so, a little bit like this, and then it's like it's a kind of a constant update, you know, and then I think so it's like a...
Feelings can easily be addressed as a part of a day of work in the studio. That's what I meant when I talked about generosity in schools, the learning how to learn, linking, the linking of thinking and doing, that bridge is obviously often emotion, and the way that you translate an idea into actually doing something. The idea of actions not just being formal, but actions being emotional.
Tomas, tell us a bit about your work, what these massive vacuoles. Where was I? Gosh. Yes, what I want to ask you is things like, they're like what Leibniz called monads, literally these spherical entities with windows.
Thank those people who brought him there brought him here in
Effigy.